Welcome. I am Shaniari Simmons, and I am here to educate you on the writing process in the real world and how it will affect you. So, let's begin. I read this article about the writing process. Now, hear me out. I know you're probably thinking that this will be a lecture on writing, but it's not. It will be very beneficial, so please stick around. The article I read is Chatting in the Workplace by Jeff Rentz and Mr. Irene Taylor. They gave very insightful thoughts on how they incorporated writing into their lives and what they learned from it. First, I want to give some background knowledge on what chat is. It refers to cultural historical activity theory. This basically means what, how, when, and why we write. It allows us to get into the nitty-gritty of why we write, so to speak. These terms allow us to start the process of figuring out why we write. These terms are production, representation, distribution, reception, socialization, activity, and ecology. Mr. Taylor and Mr. Rentz talked about the conventions of writing genres that they used in their professions. Jeff was a banker who communicated with clients about their payments. He solely focused on the foreclosure form, while Irene was an office administrator in the English department, and his genre of writing was on work orders. Now, they discussed the policies that they had to follow with these specific forms, and they also talked about what they learned from it and how they now incorporate it into their lives. One thing that stood out that I want you all should be aware of is how you're communicating. What I mean by this is how you respond toward others, but also how you introduce yourself for your subjective choice. It is very important because it can be received, which is a literate term, it can be received by others in many different ways. For an example, Jeff stated that in his previous writing he used "your account is past due," and he noticed that his clients were calling him angrily and he didn't understand why. So he reached out to a friend and explained his situation, and he found out that how you word things can have an effect. So he changed it to "my record so such and such," and he took ownership of his mistake and fixed it accordingly. Now, in the real world, you may be thrown into a situation where you do not know what to do. I would encourage you to use your resources around you, whether it's the internet, coworkers, or even your boss. Ask for examples or more in-depth explanation of the subject. Hopefully, this podcast will give you insight of what will be in store for you in the future and how you should handle it. Remember, communication is very substantial, so watch what you say and how you say it. Thank you.